All right, 511. And guys, remember, we're not copying answers right now. That's just disrespectful. If you want to copy, do it outside of class. The answer key is in Schoology. I know, what I say seems weird. But I know that if you want to be sneaky, and guys, probably with enough Googling, you could probably find the CPM answer key somewhere else on the internet. Like, probably. But, like, that's not the point. Right? Like,
I found it one time online when I was trying to check my homework.
Yeah, like, if schools don't have, like, Schoology, where you have to log in, and schools just have public websites, like, yeah, it's probably out there. And, like, yeah, could you download the PDF and post it somewhere for, like, whatever. Sure, I get that. I know that. There's apps that solve your homework for you. I get that. The point is understanding what we're learning. So, guys, do your practice on your own. Do not rob yourself of that opportunity to learn. I told you guys about scuba and tuba, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I told Bradley now, by the way. But real quick before whatever question you have, what's the difference between a piano, a glue stick, and a can of tuna?
No. You can tune a piano, but you can't tune it.
You can tune a piano, but you can't piano a tuna.
What?
Yeah, you can tune a piano, but you can't piano a tuna. What about the glue stick? I knew you'd get stuck on that.
Wait, is it because you're gluing those two terms together?
No, he said that was a follow-up joke. He said I know. That was not a good joke.
Oh my god, it's a double.
Okay, so on the answer key, the answer right is 2x minus 1. But if you look at the question, there is no negative 3. There's no negative 3.
Here?
Yeah.
Let me go check my work. Like, I do want to see it, but hey, hold up. Hey, real, like, not dad joke. Like, real concern. Lucas thinks there's a mistake in the answer key, so check 5-6B.
I got 2x.
I got 3. Well, I did the same thing.
Yeah, I got the same.
I didn't get the same thing.
As the answer key? Or what?
I got negative 3 plus 2x.
That's the same thing.
I got
y. If you have negative y,
Yeah, I got
if you have negative y, I have y equals 2x plus 3.
Yo, hey, I'm going to pull it up, and, like, we can, like, do it all together. But just shouting out what we have without actually... Hey, so this is actually a great teachable moment. Shouting out what you have without talking about what you did is pointless. Like, just yelling what you have without trying to figure out what we did is really silly. So B starts with 2x minus y equals 3, right? So I'm going to copy down 2x minus y equals 3 because I don't ever try to do math without writing work. 2x minus y equals 3. Hold on a second, dude. I'm trying to keep numbers in my head. 2x minus y equals 3. Yes? No? Negative 3? Positive 3? What?
Yeah,
Drag
2x minus y.
Yeah. 2x minus y equals 3. Okay, Liam, is it about this problem?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I did minus 2x on each side.
Okay. Sorry, that's an X.
I divided everything by negative 1.
Because this is really negative 1. Or, what Liam also could have done is multiply by negative 1.
Yeah.
Or, you could essentially say, I'm going to flip the sign of every single number.
That's what I did.
Right? Because this is going to become y equals negative 3 positive 2x. That's how they get their answer. That is the correct answer. John.
I think that on the answer key, part of the answer for B was cut off.
Oh, sorry, that's math 7. There's you guys.
Part of
Yeah, so negative 3x plus 5.
Okay.
Well, why is it I was gonna say instead of, like John, I did say? Right? If you think something's wrong, like, point it out. Or if you think you can't see everything, like, point it out. Hey, if you don't have your Chromebook out, you might want to get it loading, just so I know some of your Chromebooks take a little bit of time. So like while we're checking, your Chromebook can be moving in the right direction, right? Like getting towards Schoology. Or yeah, that. Sorry, I keep talking about Schoology and the help tools available in Schoology. Yeah, that. You know, that thing. Oh, by the way, Mrs. Cullinan, I think it was you guys. Yeah, literally, the note for your class was all here, great class, no issues, you should be proud. So, like, exactly, and all of you should be proud. Like, exactly what I requested, right? Like, exactly my hope, because you guys are awesome. It might be the best class I have this year. But I didn't say that out loud. But, like, so I knew. Oh, crap. I'm not going back. It's there. Whatever. What? I whispered it. Maybe, and I did this. Maybe it didn't. Well, if the bar is here and they're there, that's not a problem with the bar. That's a problem with whoever's right here, right? Now, hold on. The note for 3A also did say, like, came in quickly, got settled, no issues. Like, so 3A did a really good job too. So did the other classes. But like literally the note for your class was just like, all here, great class, no issues, you should be proud. Like, because I told her, like, you should have no issues tomorrow. Fingers crossed, my students are awesome. And that's what happened. She had no issues. So, all right, 512.
Wait, I'm literally so confused on how, like, what the answer was on 5. Like, I
On 5 what?
5A.
8. You use the graph at the right to get to the answer of 2, -5. So, hold on, I'll pull that question back
Yeah,
up.
I got the same thing.
Anna, start checking 512. I'll pull that question back up. So, did you graph the lines, Anna?
Missy told me that I got it right. Yeah, she told me.
That you got it what?
She got it right.
Well, but that's less important than knowing how you got there. Did you graph the lines? Okay, and then does it make sense of how we got that point of intersection?
Yeah.
Because you had just a moment ago said, I'm so confused, but now it seems like you're not confused at all.
Well, yeah, because I don't think I read the answer correct. When it said see graph on right, I
Hey,
thought that was
friends, back up on 5.8. Just want to make sure that we all like agree on this. You can always use Desmos to graph things. You don't even need to type in y equals. Like, you can, but it doesn't change anything because it knows what we're talking about is y. So if you get instructed to graph the lines, like 8 tells you to do, you can do it manually, or you can do it in a graphing utility. And then if you come and you try to click near the intersection, it will drop the intersection point and tell you where it is. Right? Desmos is extremely powerful. I think they should have called it Desmost.
Where did you get?
Wait, I literally, for one of my answers, I said fix it on graph, but like I don't know.
You just said the E word.
All right, we ready? Because this is recorded anyways.
No.
If you are done checking it and they are done, you can turn it in and go ahead and jump on Desmos. If you have any other questions, happy to take them. Eli?
For question 521C,
21C.
I got everything else right except C, and I had a different rule, but it seemed to have worked.
Wait, Missy.
So 21C. Hey, if you are not Eli or me, I would appreciate if you stop talking for a moment just so we can figure out this issue. So did you use these points to figure out the slope? So the slope of 3, right? The growth of 3.
Yeah.
And so that was A, right? B, hey guys, thank you. B asked, what is the y-intercept? So the y-intercept is when x is 0, right? So we went backwards. We went down 3, and we got the y-intercept was -2. So then when we put it all together, growth, right, goes in front of the x, y-intercept goes on its own. So if you had A and B right, probably just goofed up writing how C is supposed to be written. Does that make sense?
Can I come up and whisper you a secret that I can't tell anybody else?
I mean, my HD mic is recording, but if you or wait till the end of class.
Okay.
So I'd say because whisper, we'll find out if my whisper was actually able to be picked up or not.
Wait, so what are we doing?
Some secret government thing.
Look, I will say mathematically and factually, the note for your period was the shortest note from yesterday. So that's just facts, right? Make of that what you will. If that means there's some sort of comparison, that's up to you. That it would be a good thing, right? Like a short note is normally a good thing. Go back, guys. It's recorded. You can check it on your own on Schoology. Yes, you can. It's on Schoology. That I don't like waiting for you. We are making sure that we have finished systems of two equations and taking just a little bit more time to do racing dots, and then we're going to come like all together and do math. Because like we have some math to do. Because I want to buy a new bicycle. And actually, we spent so long checking homework, we might just have to jump into this pretty quickly. Nah, we have 20 minutes, which should work. All right, take a few minutes. If you are done with systems, you can be doing racing dots. We'll look at our answers from racing dots here in just a minute. Olivia, I don't know if yours is mad at you for some reason, but it looks like your Desmos is, it's probably formatting. Probably something to do with the formatting of what you've typed in. Not unless you have the other two done. Not unless you have the other two done. Nathaniel, you have not even started racing dots, so I do not think you can do the golfing one. Yeah, Minerva, something looked weird with your Desmos too. Or are you're still coded as 3A. Is yours paused? Is that what you're about? Yeah, because you're in the 3A group. This is a me issue. So what I'm going to do is come into 3A and kick you out real quick. Except you're going to lose your progress. Were you pretty much done with the first one, the systems? Because I would like to get this fixed, actually, like for once and for all. Let me check this. I can unpause you. Let's see where you were.
Look at how goofy I look. You only had just like a couple more slides, and they were like the end ones. So you could go to slide 16 if you want. Like, but I'm gonna get you into the right class, so let's do that right now to fix this. Which do I want? This 3A. Remove it. So what I need you to do, may I? Will you refresh your page? There we go. So now you're actually in the 3B class. So the ones marked 3B are like the ones that I'll be able to see with this group. So like for racing dots, let's go into the 3B one. Even if you started this one yesterday, but you can skip past the slides if it'll let you. Sometimes it won't let you skip past it. You got to type something into there. But yeah, sorry, that was a me issue because we had that class change thing happen.
Why is the play pause thing so hard? Like, I'm trying to stop at 10, but I keep stopping at like 13.
There's a reason that they make it difficult to stop at exactly a certain spot. Because it helps your learning.
Wait,
So everybody's in racing dots, right?
I'm in marble.
You should not be, unless you're done with racing dots. Okay. I will say, I don't know what that X actually means, if it's wrong or if it's just incomplete or what. But to my people that are totally done with racing dots, it seems like your final slide has an X on it. I'm not quite sure why. But it doesn't matter, because in a minute I'm bringing us back together anyways. If you don't have graph paper in front of you or available in your binder quickly, please make that happen.
Several people that already had it out. Oh, dang it.
Julia, do you need
Why do you have to?
Why do I keep pushing it?
Because you feel like you need to be stronger.
You need to be stronger.
Reminder, Hauer, Hassanein, and Kabilo, although it does not matter. Hauer, Hassanein, and Kabilo advisories have pizza lunch in the family room.
Yes!
From the direct drive, right? Hauer, Hassanein, and Kabilo. All right, so, yeah.
There is an option to
Oh, yeah, you don't have to eat pizza lunch. I mean, I'll eat your pizza. All of how I teach math is pizzas. Yes,
the
Jacob.
advisories are your like actual advisories of the gym schedule, right?
Yeah, the advisory groups, like how the fundraiser was broken up. Your advisory team. Your advisor team.
Alright, so normally
If Hauer is your advisor or if Hassanein is your advisor, who's your advisor?
well, normally it's better.
Then she's your advisor. She's always your advisor. It doesn't matter who you're with for work. Your advisor's your advisor. Like where you go for extensions, right? That's your advisor.
Well, if I go to for help because I go there for extensions, and I get pizza.
That's just
Pretty sure it does.
No.
I just got no way.
Or you go to sign it.
I just lost the game. Dang it.
Well, that means everyone lost the game.
I know.
All right.
Come on, Eli.
Latanya and George decide that they're going to both buy bicycles. But because they're best friends, they're going to buy their bikes together. So they both decide, like, hey, let's start saving money so that we can buy some new bikes and then we can, like, get places, right? Nobody needs to be on their computer at this point. I shouldn't need to make people shut them, but no one needs to be on it. So if the gentle glow of your screen is still illuminating your face, probably stop it and get on some graph paper.
Yeah, you should just stop it and get on.
I mean, I think it's pretty good to sit on graph paper, but sure.
Wait, no, you have a highlighter in there.
So, here's some info about Latanya and George. And I want you and your partner to start discussing how can they know when they will be ready to buy their bicycles. Like, how will we know what they have right now, we know what they're saving, but like, can you figure out how many weeks, right, how many weeks it will take them to save up to be able to buy their bikes? John?
Well, it depends on how much the bike costs.
We don't know how much the bikes cost. So that would be a pretty important thing. So since we don't know how much the bikes cost, and we know if you've ever been to Walmart or any other store with bikes, like there's lots of different bikes. More expensive bikes, cheaper bikes. So Latanya and George decided to actually change their plan, and they say, how about when we have the same amount of money, we'll go buy bikes. We'll put our money together, we'll go buy bikes. So what you want to try to figure out is how could we write an equation for Latanya, write an equation for George,
and then figure out when will they have equal amounts of money in their savings account.
Oh, you don't have to tell me the answer. You can't give me the answer. I want to figure it out myself.
Oh, you did. It's been, well, first of all, I wasn't here yesterday, and then today is just always crazy. Well, they're not that different.
If you notice the new thing, you can't tell us.
Yeah, you don't have to ask. My class is just if it seems like good timing, go. All right, Latanya, how could we? This is not your class. That's last class. Margot, how could we represent what Latanya has in her savings account with an equation?
I guess if you were gonna do like the linear equation stuff, you would put y equals, and then she starts with 50, so that'd be like the y.
No, wait. So hold on. I like what you said, but I want to push back on it a little bit. Do we? So you said if we're gonna do the linear equation stuff, we could put y equals. Do we have to use y?
No.
But now
So-
I need an equation.
So since we're gonna have, if we use y, we're gonna have multiple y's. I would rather, and this doesn't mean that we're gonna have an L axis, but I would rather say L for Latanya, right? Help my paper like communicate what I'm communicating. So okay, I'm gonna say L equals.
How did you do it?
Margot's talking us through this now. We're back together now.
So yeah, so then you have the 50, so that would be like plus 50, or you could just put 50 plus whatever.
Oh yeah. So either way, so we either put plus 50 or 50 plus.
And then she gets 30 a week, so it would be 30 and then whatever variable you want.
Yeah, and since they told us, well, they didn't quite say use X for weeks, but we could either use W for weeks or just use X if we want to be able to graph it. So then for George, Lucas,
Okay, so it would basically be 75, because that's how much you're starting with, plus 25x.
same thing as saying 25X plus 75. He's just starting with where we started instead of writing it the other way. So then to figure out when they're going to have equal amounts, set L equal to G. Right? This is the step that sometimes confuses people, but when are ghost?
You need an arrow.
I did not mean to. Ghost. So when will L equal G? Well, just fill in what your L is. Plus what, 50? And I'm going to switch this order just because. We could, like our homework had us do, put this in Desmos and graph it. But the problem is, unless I know how to change the settings in Desmos, this graph actually doesn't look very nice because the lines are like really steep and it's kind of like on top of itself. And so honestly, this is better. No, I don't know what better, but this can be solved with algebra probably just as easy as using Desmos. Yeah.
I did it like, I don't know if this is like a smart way, but it worked for me, so that's why I did it. I just like put 50, put 75, and then I just like kept adding the numbers until I got to,
That's exactly what I did.
and now I have the answer.
Yeah. So you like made a table essentially.
Yeah.
That'll work
It took
until it doesn't.
That's why.
Yeah, that'll work until it doesn't. And that's why my next slide shows you when that won't work.
Oh, darn it.
Show it to us.
I'm trying to think of like some sort of Luigi. Alright, so if we're gonna do this, hey, I'm running out of time. the best route, in my opinion, the best route. Actually, I would have started with taking 25x away first, but it doesn't make a difference. I take away my numbers closer to 0, right? And I try to keep positive, right? So this will let me keep positive. And actually, somebody in the last class, Nick, actually he solved it in his head saying, well, if I know that the catch-up that needs to happen, catch-up, like the catching up of $50 versus $75, George has more money when he starts, right? But he's saving less. So what Nick figured out was we will end up getting this equation that represents the catch-up amount, right? LaTanya needs to catch up by $25. And how is she catching up? She's saving $5 extra every week. Because when you compare LaTanya to George, she's got 5 extra every week. So 5 extra every week. How many weeks will it take to catch up? Careful, we got to divide, and then we find out that our answer is actually 5. Now, the table would work until it doesn't. Because Gerardo tries to use that table. Gerardo. So he's got these two equations. And he's like, all right, -3, -2, -1, 0, 1, 2, 3. And he's like, all right, this is what I did on the last problem. But then he notices something. They missed their meetup. It's like missed connections, right? Like, because this right here went from negatives to positives. Right? And this right here went from positives to negatives. So like this line was sloping upward, right? Slope of 4. This line is sloping downward. And there was a place where they crossed, but we missed it.
Oh my god. Are we allowed to use the graphing calculator?
So, if we then turn to our technology, and we're about out of time, guys. I'm going to get you out of here. Oh, no, I got 5 more minutes. So, if you go to Desmos, so if your Chromebook is still open because you had self-control and you were able to leave it open without playing with it, and you click Graphing Calculator, you don't need y equals. So you can just type in 4x minus 6, and you can type in -2x plus 3. And here the scales are nice. And there's our intercept, 1.5.
Oh, 1.5. I saw it.
Because your x-intercept will not always be at a whole number. Sorry, your intersection of your lines will not always be at really nice numbers.
It's 1.5.
1.5.
Better than like
Kind of a
Questions on this? And that's really what I needed to cover today.
What?
Yeah. I mean, that's why, like, it was a convenient timing for me to take a personal day yesterday and us to do Desmos and stuff. So if you want to do racing dots, we still got like 3 minutes. If you want to pack up, you can. But if you want to do racing dots or want to do more marble slides, I'll make sure everything's on pause for you guys. Yeah, you can do marble. That's marble slides.
it's so fun. I like all these like.
I know, right?
I like all these It's so fun.
I told you marble slides are my favorite Desmos activity.
I
like,
can't stop doing it.
You probably didn't believe me when I said my friends won't like stop when I show it to them. They won't give it back. Now you believe me.
I will never doubt my dad's teacher.
If it's done, yeah, if they're done, turn them in.